It was Mrs. Fletcher all along. It was Mrs. Fletcher all along. I think this show came out before WandaVision, but I was glad to see when I was, again, in my quest to review all sorts of movies from theater movies to HBO, Netflix, Amazon, and all those streaming service. I happened to just see the actress Catherine Hahn that plays Agatha in WandaVision and among other roles. She's been on in so many things, but she is being more recognized for her role as Agatha in WandaVision. Or if you saw WandaVision, you'll kind of know it. So I was checking it out, and honestly, when I first saw the show, I wasn't really interested. I saw the trailer for the show, and I was like, eh. And it's basically about a mom or a single mom, and she's rediscovering herself after her son goes off to college. So now she is by herself and she's starting her new life, right? She's trying to adjust to single life, basically. She's divorced, she was a single mother, and she raised basically her son on her own. And in the first episode, we see that, right? No, well, before I get into the first episode, so I wasn't really intrigued, right? Because I'm reviewing other shows, I'm seeing other movies and whatnot. So then I saw the runtime, and I saw that every episode was 30 minutes. So it's really short, really compact. And I get why it's so short and compact. I mean, this easily could have been a 4 episode, 1 hour long, kind of wham bam, thank you, ma'am, kind of a thing. So they broke it up into roughly around 30 minutes, given the credits, probably more like 25 minutes. So it doesn't take a lot of your time. So I was like, you know what, let me watch the first episode, because it'll tell me a lot. Most of the time, I would say 96% of the time, after I watch episode 1, I don't know what my mind does. It just becomes invested. So then I most likely finish it. It's very, very rarely that I see a show and I don't enjoy it. So I said, screw it. Let me watch this first episode. And honestly, it's okay. I'm not going to say it was great. It was amazing. It was great writing. It's pretty simple. The story is pretty basic. And like I said, it's basically her mom saying goodbye, the mother saying goodbye to her son, and trying to adjust to single mother life. And in this episode, we only get a little bit of taste of that in episode 1 towards the end of the episode. So we're introduced, like I said earlier, the father's not really involved, and we get introduced to Mrs. Fletcher's son, Brendan Fletcher, and he's an asshole. He's a jerk. He's a bully. And I don't know, they must have written this show like in the early 2000s, because when you see Brendan, he doesn't look like a bully, and I can't buy him as a bully. And I'm really hoping that karma catches up with him, because he's just a dick. And in this episode, we see he's in a house party and he's really rude to some girl. Even though this show doesn't paint young ladies in a good light, and it kind of falls with what we know, that if you treat a girl, not know, but I guess what's being put out there, that if you treat a girl like shit, no matter what, she'll come back to you, because all girls love the bad boys. And even though she treats this girl like shit at a party or like an object, the girl still comes back and gives him a farewell gift before he leaves off to college. But before that, there was this kid at this party that he was, kind of bullying. I should say spoiler warning, even though I'm halfway through the review here. So spoiler warning. In this episode, we see that Brendan at this house party is bullying some kid. I think his name is Julian Spitzer. I'm probably not pronouncing, but he's bullying him, and he's like, oh, ever since I was a kid, you bully him, and he still does it. He drops his phone. Brendan drops Julian's phone in water and just kind of still bullies him. Well, at the end of the show, towards the end, the mother, Eve Fletcher is Catherine's character that she's playing. Her name's Eve. So Eve takes up like this poetry kind of reading thing, which Julian, the boy that her son was bullying, ends up being in that class. And surprise, surprise, they start flirting with each other. So karma might really come back to bite Brendan in the butt. So this show makes millennials look entitled, rude, and dumb, which, you know what? I can't really knock this episode from or this not maybe this whole series, but this episode, especially from making them look like that. And honestly, are kids that rude? I know with the TikTok, trends and YouTubes and TikToks and Instagram, like maybe it's just me. I don't remember. I mean, maybe I'm just not that tuned in to the youth to notice that they're this rude. So, and on a little side tangent, and on a little side note, not a tangent, this show also stars Cameron Boyce that died in his sleep, I think through epilepsy, which was kind of sad. If you guys don't remember him, he was all over the Disney Channel when he was younger, in his 12, 13s, and 14s. So it was nice to see. I didn't know this was his last project before he passed away. So it was just neat to see him. I didn't know a lot of these actors were in this show. I just knew because of Catherine, like I said, Agatha, and then that drew me in. So I'm gonna keep watching it. It seems interesting. It's quick. It's digestible. Like I said, it's 20 to 25 minutes, so it's not gonna take a bulk of your time. And if you really sat there, you could probably get through this whole thing and binge watch it in 5 hours, which I'm kind of debating with doing. I don't want to know if I could have enough material to do a full breakdown for just 20 minutes. I mean, right now it's going in almost 7 minutes just for this breakdown. So we'll see. But anyways, if you have some time, I recommend you guys watch it. It's interesting. It's funny. It's very graphic. There's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of suggestive stuff. So if you have kids, make sure they're asleep or out of the house before you watch it, because there is a lot of adult material. It is an HBO show. So consider that your warning. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. I'm kind of late to this show. This show came out in 2019, I think right before the pandemic or right during the pandemic when we all went in lockdown. So have you seen it? What'd you think about this season? You know what? Don't tell me, because then you'll spoil it for me. But let me know what you thought about the first episode. Did it get you intrigued? Did it get you hooked to see the rest of it? Put your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap.